Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
Pull this trim piece off right here. We're going to use a trim piece tool. Pull like that, and then there's a little stud here. Pull that away. We're going to pull this crank off. Keep in mind where the position of the crank is. So you could make a little chalk mark right there if you wanted to, or just keep in mind where it goes. You're going to need a special crank tool. Get in behind here. And then you pull the crank out. This crank tool works like this. Slides in there and then pushes on that little spring. Pulls it apart. So you really need this window crank tool. Pull this little washer off. Next there's a little screw down here. It's a Torx screw. It's a T20, so we're going to use a T20 socket and an extension and a ratchet. Take that out. Pull that screw out. So we want to pull this piece off. You're just going to grab it with two hands, pull up. There's some clips that hold it in. You could, if you struggled with that, you could take a trim piece tool and pry underneath it. There's a Phillips head screw right here. So we'll use a Phillips head screwdriver and remove it. Remove that screw. Now I'm going to go around the perimeter of the door panel with a trim tool to release the door pins. I like to start on the inside. That way, if anything messes up, it's not as evident. And with those all popped up, we can lift up on the door panel. Now we're going to pull this insulator off. You can use a razor blade to cut some of this. This has been removed before, so it's coming off pretty easily. Just peel it off. Move it out of your way. Inside this door panel is a little lock that goes to this rod right here. That's the rod for the lock cylinder. So I'm going to use a little pick tool, a 90-degree pick tool. I'm going to pull on this little tab, and it's going to unlock the rod, and then I'm going to slide the rod out, just like that. I'm going to pull this little cover right here. Just use my 90-degree pick. You can use a screwdriver. Then I will take a Torx 30 driver, and there's a little bit in there. I'm going to have to loosen it up. It's not going to come out completely, it's just going to get loose. That's just going to release the lock for the outside cover. All right, once that's loose, I'm going to use some trim tools here. You can try to wiggle it out. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult. Be careful not to scratch the paint. this plastic cover can come off. Put that in. Try using a magnet to try to pull that bolt out a little bit. It's not gonna come out, just you gotta pull some tension off of it while you try to pull this out. And there we go. We can pull this housing out. What was going on was that bolt was getting stuck in the hole right there. If you can see where that bolt goes, right there. So if you use the magnet, pull it out a little, it makes it easier to pull it out. To pull this handle out, pull up, you're gonna slide it towards the outside of the car, and the handle will come right off. You can pull these gaskets off right here. This one as well. Pull those off. Then from the inside of the car, I can grab the handle assembly and slide it to the outside. I can pull it out. Pull this out here. To get the cable off here, just slide up like that, and then slide the ball out. Right. Because the window channel is in the way of taking the door latch out, we're gonna have to loosen up the window channel. So we're gonna use a 10mm socket and a ratchet and an extension. Take these two 10mm bolts out. Pull that window channel out. Now that this cable is free, that goes to the outside door handle, and we have our window track guide out of the way, we can take this door handle off. To remove the inside door handle, there's a 10mm screw right here. You can use a socket, or you can use a Phillips head screwdriver. Pull that bolt out. We're gonna slide this to the outside of the door, pull it out. Just slide these cables out of these two brackets. Pull the cable out here, slide the ball out. Pull this cable out here, slide that out. We'll loosen up these bolts right here. They're Torx. It's a T30. We're going to use a T30 socket, an extension, and a ratchet. We can grab our latch. Slide it through here. To take this rod off, I'm just gonna slide this lock this way, and then we can pull the rod off. Make sure you remember which way the rod goes if you're installing a new door latch, because you don't want to flip it on the other side. Now we'll reinstall the door latch. Slide it in here. Get it lined up over here on the outside. Oops. Take one of these bolts, get it started. Now we'll snug these down. And then we'll move on to installing the outside door handle and then the inside door handle. To reinstall this cable, I'm going to slide the ball right in that position. Let's slide this down into the lock, like that. I'm going to slide this back in here. This cable twists around right here. There is a position that holds it right there. We're going to line it up with the holes on the outside of the door. With those two little tabs and those two little tabs. And we'll slide it towards the vehicle. We'll install these gaskets. That one there. This one goes this way. Just like that. We're going to slide the back part of the handle in first, and then the front. You're going to kind of push and push it towards the vehicle, and it'll lock in place. All right, we're going to install this cover back over the lock cylinder housing. There's two tabs on the back side. Put those on first and then lock it in place. And we'll take this. We're going to slide it in the hole there, pull the handle out a little bit, and then push it in. Next, I'll put the Torx driver back in the hole and tighten up that screw. You may have to wiggle that housing on the outside a little bit. And just snug that up, not too tight. Install this cover right here. We're going to hook the lock cylinder rod back up. Just slide it in up top and push down on the lock. All right, so we're going to start with the lock cable. We're going to slide this piece in to the lock right there. Oops. This can be tricky sometimes. Slide that in like that, over, slip that down like that, and then make sure you don't cross these cables. And we'll slide the handle part on. This ball is going to go into this area right here on the handle. Push down on the ball. As I did that, this one popped out. And then slide the cable down and then lock this one in place. And like I said, make sure they're not twisted. If they are, you can just generally flip it around. We're going to slide this in those slots, lock it forward to the 10mm bolt. Snug it up. Not too tight, it is in plastic. Now we're going to reinstall the window guide. Goes over here. Line it up. Bolt will go right here. And the lower one goes right here. Take our 10mm socket, extension and ratchet, just snug snug it up. I'm going to reinstall this vapor barrier. Just push it on. The butyl tape should re-stick to itself. Before we put our inner door panel on, some of the clips did not come out with the door, so we have this clip removal tool. We sell this at 1aauto.com. Just line it up right here and then squeeze. Door clips come right out. Install the clips back into the door panel. Now we're going to install the door panel. So once that's lined up, make sure you line the pins up and just bang the door panel back on. Make sure it's flush all the way around. We'll take this screw, Phillips head screw, install it there, tighten it down with our Phillips head screwdriver. Snug that down. Now we're going to install this piece. Just lines up. Hit it down. Next we'll install this T20 screw. Just line that up there. Snug it down. Use my ratchet and my T20 Torx bit and extension. Snug it down. Next we're going to install this window handle. You want to make sure you put this washer on first. It goes there. And then look to the lock. Make sure the lock for the handle is in this position. We're going to line it up how it came off. You generally want it in this position for when you're driving so it's not down at your knee when the window is closed. So that's good. We can test that. It's working properly. Take our cover, slide it over, line it up with the holes, and lock it in place.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at 1aauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.